Welcome to Gainesville to the Glades. I'm Joe, avid Miami Hurricane fan.
And I'm Mike, the Florida Gator fan. This week, we want to thank our sponsors, Studio 44 for having us, the Ocala Design Group, Hooked Up Landscaping, Pearl Chiropractic, and let's get into the show. Joe?
This is the moment we waited for. Everything you want is right here.
Well, we're going to get right into the show. That was a great intro, Mike. That's probably one of our better ones that we've had recently.
Let's talk about it then.
Yeah, let's talk about it. But what we're going to do, we're going to go right to the fire. So one of our segments we're going to do every week is going to be a top 5 list.
And so we should do 2 top 5s this week to give it
we got to make up one for
Sounds good to me.
First one's going to be top 5 sports movies. You know, we had to start as a sports
Impossible.
podcast. No, it's impossible, but these top 5 lists are personal favorites, not what the critics think.
Right, yeah.
So
I don't listen to the critics.
So
These are the movies I like.
So do we want to start at 5 and go down?
Let's do that. You go first.
Oh, you're going to let me go first? Thank you, sweetie. So my top 5, since
Or do you want to throw your honorable mention out to start?
Well, honorable mention will be Little Giants.
Little
and
Giants,
Tin Cup.
great.
And Tin Cup.
So Tin Cup is my honorable mention.
Well,
so that's
see?
that's
Hey,
pretty awesome.
We got one right.
Tin Cup, White Men Can't Jump.
My 5 are Mighty Ducks at 5.
Mighty Ducks at 5, okay.
I watched it when I was younger. The original, not 2 and 3, the original Mighty Ducks. Number 4, Rocky. Rocky was phenomenal.
Rocky 1?
Rocky 1.
Okay.
We should assume it's Rocky 1.
Rocky 4 is on my list, but not in my top 5.
Oh. Number 3, Days of Thunder. As a NASCAR fan, I should have a NASCAR movie in there. So Days of Thunder's 3.
One of the greatest movies ever made.
Number 2, personal favorite, Remember the Titans. It has to be on there. It's one of my favorite football movies ever. Clearly, it's number 2. And then number 1, since everybody thinks I'm Happy Gilmore, it has to be Happy Gilmore. Number 1 is my favorite comedy. It's also my favorite sports movie.
And this is why we do this. This is so awesome. He has his top 5. I'm older than Joe. So my top 5 is totally different. And he has a couple in there that made my list. Happy Gilmore's in that list. Remember the Titans is in that list. Days of Thunder is one that should be in my top 5. But I actually didn't think about racing movies until I had already made my list. So I left it out this time. I figured I'd do another list someday about my top 5 racing movies. So anyway, my top 5 goes like this. At number 5, it's a movie out of the 80s called The Cutting Edge. Now, do you know what that movie is, Joe?
Absolutely not. I was born in 85, so clearly not my movie.
So it is an ice skating movie. What is that? What do you think about that?
I'm saying you're expanding your horizons when it comes to sports movies. I like it.
I'm saying if you haven't seen it before, you have to watch it sometime. It is an absolute great movie. It's about a dude who is a hockey player, gets hurt or whatever, and he knows he can't play hockey no more, and they talk him into ice skating with this spoiled girl that's a good ice skating.
That's the second best ice skating movie. Blades of Glory is number 1.
It is a great movie. Number 4, in one of 2 baseball movies on my top 5, is Bull Durham. Kevin Costner.
Amazing.
Great movie. Watched it many times when I was younger. Crash Davis. I was always rooting for him to make it to the pros, and of course he never does. Number 3, Cinderella Man.
Cinderella Man. That's a good movie.
Boxing movie.
Yes, I know exactly what that is.
It gets you in all kind of feels. When he goes and gets the welfare because his family's starving, and then he wins his fight and he goes back and pays it.
Isn't
crazy
every boxing movie always something where they don't have the money? They're underachieving, and then they overachieve to get that big fight at the end. Isn't that the kind of
that's what they go with it, fighting for the life and fighting for the family? Yep.
Oh, another one on my
that movie is based on a true story of James Braddock, who never got knocked out in his career. It's an amazing. If you haven't watched it, go check it out.
Another fun fact by Mike.
Number 2, my football movie, Necessary Roughness.
Ooh, that's good.
So, like we said, this is our favorite movies. I know it's a corn movie, but man, I watched it over and over and over and over. I love that movie. There's a guy. They get all the walk-ons, and the one guy's a karate guy. Like, get out there and stop them. He just runs out there and drop kicks the first guy.
Oh, that's a great
Just a great movie.
I haven't seen that movie in
And
a
then
little bit.
my number one, and what I thought would be in your list, but you are younger than me, but a movie that basically defined me that I watched many times.
Please don't.
Wild Thing.
Okay.
Major
Yes.
Toronto.
Wait,
Pedro
which one?
Toronto,
Hold on.
Number
Which,
one,
okay,
first one.
I have to check. You check mine.
I like part two when but it wasn't Wesley Snipes anymore. It was Omar Epps, Willie Mays Hayes, run like
Willie Mays
hit like
Hayes.
Hayes, you know, run like whatever.
The catcher who couldn't throw the ball back to the pitcher, but he
That
could throw
was
it to
part
second
two.
base.
Yeah, he had to do the porn. Like, remember what the
Yes.
Playboy
yes.
magazine said?
Yes.
So top 5: Major League, Necessary Roughness, Cinderella Man, Bull Durham, and The Cutting Edge. Ones that fell right out of there and could be in there easy. A League of Their Own, Sandlot, White Man Can't Jump.
That was my honor.
Here's one for you.
mention.
Is Ace Ventura a sports movie? It has Dan Marino in
Dan
it.
Laces Out Gray. Is Ace Ventura a sports movie?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm with you.
Then
What
I didn't
about The Last
consider
Boy
it. That
Scout?
should be in my top 5 because that's one of my favorite movies of all time. Is Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
It's a great movie. So, and then there's a bunch of them on my list that could have been in there. Coach Carter.
Well, we talked about this when you gave up when we thought of the idea of our first one being sports movies. My list was 20 deep, and I had to eliminate to 5.
Oh, 100%. Me too. And there's some that they made it because of where they fell in my childhood and how many times I watched them.
Can I give you a fun fact about Coach Carter?
Yeah.
Give us a fun fact.
So when I first started into doing NIL deals, I got on the phone with Coach Carter, literally to mentor me through the beginning of the NIL process.
Samuel L. Jackson?
It was not the actor,
OG Carter.
the actual man, but amazing guy, very, very smart, and a very caring, supportive person, like in my life so far. So absolutely shout out Coach Carter.
Well, I've got a question for you because I'm going to involve you one more time. Dan Laces Out Gray. Besides Rad, because I know that's your number one sports movie, what is the second option for you?
My absolute favorite sports movie is called The Program.
Oh.
And as far as football, like when that guy gets all roided out and he loses his mind and just starts really getting after it. I do not like the colors of their team. It makes me throw up. But
that's why I hate that movie.
Exactly. It's hard to stomach that part with all that garnet. However, The Program.
So you remember in that movie when they laid down in the middle of the road and then people were freaking doing it and getting ran over like idiots?
Yeah, it was one of the first watch the movie, do the thing, die tragedies.
Yep.
Yeah, not really cool.
The other one on my list it should have made it because the movie was hilarious. I probably watched it 30 times when it came out. Basketball.
Basketball is on my list too. Right
It's
there.
on Mike's list as well as another one.
Hoosiers was one that I put on there that I'm like, if we were not doing our own picks, that has to be considered one of the top 5 sports movies of all time.
I
But
agree.
I watched it as a young, and it was more drama, kind of boring to me.
I was going to have Rudy on there, but I can't have any movie that has Notre Dame in it at all.
Rudy.
Shout out to Notre Dame for not making the playoffs and watching us go to the Natty sitting at home. Oh, wait. And then they decided not to play their bowl game. Sorry. I had to get some Miami love there.
Rudy hit a little too close to home for me. I went to practice and never got to play.
So you are.
Mine was closer to radio. So, all right.
That's another great one, by the way. Well,
Forrest Gump.
Oh, man, we could go. Oh, man. Forrest Gump is another one. That's a sports movie. So the next moment we got to go to, unfortunately, as a Miami Heat fan, I got to be eliminated, even though the finish is one of the craziest ones all year, was the Heat Hornets finish, which was unbelievable.
That last 12 seconds of that game was must watch TV for sure. And LaMelo Ball, man, he is
well, he did
yank.
yank.
The second half of this season has been quite a season.
He did yank down a Bayou by his ankle and got him out for the game, but we won't talk about that too much. But Tyler Hero getting fouled on the 3-point line, making all three, LaMelo Ball driving down the lane, getting the layup, and then the Heat driving right back and getting blocked in the paint to tie it. Man, playoff basketball isn't my favorite thing until we get to the finals, but when you have a finish like that, that's insane.
Yeah, it was a fun game. The Magic.
Yes, it's your turn tonight.
And their playoff game.
They played the 76ers.
It's been somewhat a disappointing season for them, no matter what they do here. I don't think they're going to get, even if they win, they get past the first round. I don't see.
I agree with that.
And if they do, that could be that good-bad situation where now maybe the coach stays, and he's been pretty much underachieving since we got him, Mosley. I hate to see it. I like that guy, but I don't think he's going to be the coach moving forward.
Would you rather go same thing with the Heat? We talked about it outside before. Would you rather win the play-in game, lose the first round, and not get a lottery pick? Because a lottery pick, trade bait.
And you never know when you get in the lottery. You never know.
Shout out to the Heat last year winning the last game. If they would have just not won the last game, they would have Cooper Flagg on that roster, and it would be a totally different story this year. But, we decided we wanted to play for the 10th seed in the conference.
And that's it. It's one of those games where, I don't want to root against my team, but it ain't going to, hurt my feelings if they don't do it,
Well,
but we'll see.
We're going to go to even more good news for you because you got your Magic tonight. Tell me about the UF spring game. I've seen some highlights. Obviously, the biggest part of the team is the UF quarterback battle now. Is it going to be Philo? Is it going to be Trammell?
And they seem to be flipping back and forth. So 2 weeks ago, the talk was Philo.
Josh Pate.
And he was looking better. Josh Pate was one of them. With practice, said he stood out looking better. Then you watch the spring game, and obviously Trammell looked better.
Trammell. He looked good. Trammell looked good in limited stuff last year when he played. Limited stuff. He looked really good.
So it's exciting to see either one of them. Our receiver core is what I took out of it. Man, the guy that you don't even know is the guy that stood out in the spring game.
Micah Mays.
Yeah. And he's on the list. I didn't even know the name. I knew the name, but you know what I mean? That's not even the first guys you think of. You think of BB3. You think of Dallas Wilson. You think of the transfer Singleton.
You don't think of Micah Mays.
And Micah Mays is the guy that kind of stood out in the game. So that was exciting. Our old line, a long way to go.
Yeah.
Which is, the tough part. But a good offensive coordinator, I think Buster is. He can make a scheme for that.
The old Georgia Tech OC who's had running quarterbacks, passing quarterbacks, kind of a mixture. He could pretty much, I think he can call it any part of the book, any part of the playbook. I don't really have a problem him scheming up whoever he gets.
I think the thing I like most right now about this, the Gators and the spring game coming, is the transparency from our coaches.
Yes.
With Billy Napier, everything was in code. Everything was this. He didn't want to give out nothing.
All I heard last year.
These coaches are saying, hey, we got a long ways to go. This is what we need to do. This is what we're doing. I like that better than, the Napier. And we'll see what happens.
We look really good, but we're still trying, and you're trying to decode it. And then when you get to the season, the guy that you thought was playing
shows up fat, out of shape, doesn't know how to read the
playbook, looks unorganized. Things we're talking about doing is completely different. He has been transparent. He did throw a line out there that says we're going to win, and we're going to win early. This isn't going to be a slow build, which we know we want.
What's the definition of winning? We won 4 games last year, so 6 is winning.
You won. You won 5, so don't give
sell
yourself short on 4.
The over-under this year is 7.5.
Based on your schedule, I think you guys can win 7 to 9 this year. If things fall your way, I think you can win 9 or 10. I absolutely could, but I'm not really worried about your O-line because I think you can scheme around that. I'm really worried about the quarterback play and what you get. If you get good to average quarterback play, you can win 7, 8 games. If it's bad.
And I'm excited about our running back room too. They, it starts with Jaden, but it doesn't fall off too far after that.
No, it does not. Jaden Baugh is one of the top 3 best running backs returning and current in college football right now.
The defense looked a lot better in the spring game. So
maybe not your cornerback play too much. We're not sure yet.
There's a couple. People are going to get beat,
Well, From what I've seen, it looked pretty good. The O-line is definitely the problem. The O-line's been the problem for 3 years now? I'm hoping finally
the trenches in general.
It turns the corner. That's the same thing. So similar to the Miami side, probably top 3 receiving room in the country, probably top running back room in the country. Quarterback's fine. The issue is we are a new offensive line. I have trust that we'll be fine because Maryball and Cristobal do not have bad offensive lines. But we're going to be starting 3 new starters, possibly 2 true freshmen. So I know it's built for later in the year, so we just got to get through the schedule, but I understand the offensive line is where it goes. So we'll see what happens.
That's it. That's all we can do. Sit and hope.
And my spring game is next Saturday on the 18th. Let's see how that goes. No, all you're hoping for is the young players to show up and no injuries. That's what you want for fall time.
That's it. And then, since we're on my Gators right now, I'm going to
shout them out.
Show off some of my cards this week.
Who is this one?
I got the Damian Pierce.
Shout out to Damian Pierce, man. Getting drafted and nobody thinking he could start the first year, and he comes in, takes over for an injured back, and then ends up being 1,000-yard rusher in the first year.
And then, it didn't really go that great after that, but, he's been solid. I like him. This is a patch card and numbers. It was pretty cool. Cool pool.
I like that card.
Pretty cool find. Got a little Rex.
What you got here?
Little Rex Grossman I got last week. It's a common, but it's
Super Bowl participant Rex Grossman. Not many quarterbacks can say they've been to the Super Bowl and quarterback.
And then this trouble causing guy, CJ Gardner Johnson, baby.
Oh, I will give every wide receiver a pain in the ass every single time.
Talks a ton of crap.
He backs it up every single time, no matter what he does.
What I thought was cool about this card is it's when he got traded to the Lions, but they didn't have any Lions pictures.
So they got the Eagles on the front.
So it's the Eagles with the Lion logos all over it.
So you can cheer for 2 teams if you own that card.
So that's my pick this week. We'll see what it is next week. I actually found a few today.
Well, my swag is my UM hat because it needs to be bright and bold for the state champs.
And then
again.
that fresh Tony.
Oh, yeah. So I had to get some swag for spring and fall. So I've got I'm going to say the best receiver in college football, Tony. So it looks good. Got to get some fresh ones. The first one I've actually got with
his name, Kadarius?
No, not Kadarius Tony.
One.
No, he's currently negative yards still. But no, it's the first. So this is my first jersey that I own that actually has the name on the back. Because when the original jerseys came out, there was no name. NIL now. Shout out to Dan with the NIL. Kids can put the names on the jersey. This one came out. I'm like, I have to get a Tony jersey.
Welcome back to Gainesville to the Glades. Whoa, what happened?
What?
WrestleMania? Oh, it must be WrestleMania time.
Yeah, no, it's WrestleMania season, baby.
Shirt, as a matter of fact, what is that?
So this is an old school reissue John Cena Capcom. If you used to play Capcom, even me, I understand that really magical code. What does it say on the back of my shirt, Mike?
Let's see this. Oh, you can't see me. Up, down, left, right, up, down. I don't know how, but that was past my my gaming experience with John Cena.
Well,
I played back when it was Tecmo Bowl.
Well, look, this is an 8-bit shirt, so that's what Tecmo Bowl was 8-bit. So I had to get it. I'm a John Cena fan, so I had to get this reissued because I have the original one. It's not black anymore. It's got holes in it, so I had to get the reissue.
I like it. So what are we gonna see at WrestleMania this year?
Well, as you know, WrestleMania is probably my second favorite sporting event to go to. I've been to 3 of them: Orlando twice, Miami once. So I enjoy this weekend. I will probably be watching WrestleMania all 10 hours that it's on.
That's wild. It's on for that long now, huh? Like 2 nights of WrestleMania.
Well, they used to have one. COVID happened, so they had to move nights to separate wrestlers because of COVID distance. And when they realized, oh crap, we can spread 2 nights, make more fans, make more money. Guess what? It's 2 nights now.
Now it's 2 nights.
Yeah.
Don't blame them. That's a lot of money. A lot of people watch wrestling. I haven't watched in years, so I think we should do our top 5 WrestleMania picks, and mine are all going to be old.
Well, mine are going to be new. So before we did this segment, we decided to choose WrestleMania moments, but we want to be a little different. He's going to do the old school because Mike's a little older. I'm going to do new school. We may cross over because he mentioned a couple are on the same WrestleMania, so we may cross over on some. But we're going to let Mike go first.
I don't think so.
I don't know, man. Let's see.
I think most of the ones I liked were before you were born. So,
Well, start me off with your number 5.
my number 5, Ravishing Rick Rude
Ooh. Yeah, that's
versus
old.
the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, I know which that one is. What WrestleMania was that? Do you know?
Oh man, it's like 6 or 7. It was right after Ultimate Warrior beat Hogan, and then he lost to Ravishing Rick Rude.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that. That was a good one.
My newest one. So this is the one that could possibly cross over.
Spoiler alert: Mike actually has a newer WrestleMania moment, not an old one.
Newer to me, it's not very new, but it's true. It's true. Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels, when Kurt Angle beat Shawn Michaels.
I know what that is.
Technically, one of the best matches you'll ever see.
It was good. It'd probably be like 20th for me, but that's fine.
Hey, because you don't know technical stuff.
Yeah, I know technical wrestling, Mr. Kurt Angle, the best technical wrestler in the history of all wrestling. Yes.
Excuse me. And then number 3, which there's another match that was at this WrestleMania that's on my list.
Hold on. I think I know. Go ahead.
Number 3, Brutus, the Barber Beefcake versus Mr. Perfect.
Oh, Mr. Perfect. Did he throw the gum in that match?
Believe so. That was Brutus won in a long match. It was just he was gonna cut his hair with the shears. Remember? it was one of those crazy matches that went on and on and on. And it was on the same card as my number 1, which I'll get to in just a second.
Who was your number 1?
I got to give you my number 2 first.
Oh, sorry. I'm a little slow. Sorry, it's old school, so I got to catch up. That's on
This
me.
match ended up leading to another match that would have been my overall number 1 match that I remember being from a kid, but it wasn't during WrestleMania. But this match was Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh, there you go. Where's your 2x4?
Versus the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, and Andre the Giant interfered, giving Ted DiBiase the win.
That is an old school. I know which one you're talking about. That is definitely a cool
Then
match.
after that, a couple weeks later, Duggan got his revenge on Andre and knocked him out with the 2x4.
Probably used a 4x8 to hit him with a 2x4. I mean, that's not going to knock out Andre the Giant. You need a 4x8.
It did on Wrestling Entertainment.
Yeah, sorry.
And
Wrestling
then
Entertainment.
The number 1,
Ooh, I've been waiting to hear what this
Hulk
one is.
Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior WrestleMania. I think it was 5, and the Ultimate Warrior won. That was the same one that had Brutus and Mr. Perfect.
So my old school, I didn't come up with any, but my number 1 old school moment was Hogan Ultimate Warrior. That match was amazing. It was iconic. Him running down to the ring is still used in every montage for them.
Yeah.
Still.
And it was like, as a kid, Ultimate Warrior was the guy, and when he comes down, yeah, oh man, you couldn't
Still one of my favorite wrestlers, watching it when I could. I still watch the old school stuff. I was young. I watched it on the black box before it was pay-per-view, and you didn't spend $60 because I didn't have $60 on the pay-per-view at that time.
One of the last ones I watched was that, Kurt Angle. That was Winghouse sitting there for 5 hours.
Oh, Winghouse. Oh, I've watched so many pay-per-views at Winghouse.
Shout out to all those used to be at the Winghouse.
Royal Rumble, all of them. Yeah, I remember that. Well, I'm going to give you the new school twist on mine. So number 5, WrestleMania 17, the TLC match, the Dudleys, Edge and Christian, and the Hardys. They were the first ones to do the tables, ladders, and chairs.
Tables, ladder, TLC.
Brutality.
I was thinking no scrubs,
Well, there was no scrubs in this match. When especially the move, and the iconic one. Remember the Hardys hanging off the title belt and he gets speared by Edge? That was the moment. That one was number 5, and that's the one I changed when we were outside discussing it because I completely forgot TLC. Number 4, I was sitting in a hotel working for Verizon on my training and watching Daniel Bryan after they propped him up for a year win a triple threat match against Flying Brian, win his title at WrestleMania 30, breaking a mold because WWE is not the type to give the title to smaller, not buff guys. That's not their look, and he was the first one to kind of break that mold. Number 3, Hulk Hogan, The Rock, WrestleMania 18, iconic match. The Great One versus Some argue one of the best wrestlers of all time that kind of gave wrestling its bigger start was Hogan, kind of put it on the map.
That was Hollywood Hogan.
Hollywood Hogan, WrestleMania, Toronto. Number 2, Brock Lesnar beating Undertaker's undefeated streak the same night as the Daniel Bryan match, which is when he hit his hand for 3, I didn't think it was real because I didn't think that moment would ever happen, and they gave it to him.
And man,
it's controversial to this day, but it's still an unbelievable moment that I never thought I would ever see. I thought they would let it happen. The fact that they did it was unbelievable.
Just let him retire. Not Lesnar. Lesnar? Come on, man.
Well, they were building Lesnar to be the big dog again, but still,
that's trying to get him back from the UFC after he got his little foot twisted.
But that's not the guy I would have done it for. But my number 1, it's a personal favorite because I was there live. WrestleMania 28, Rock versus Cena inside Dolphin Stadium at the time, 90,000 people, and I've never heard 90,000 people boo John Cena as loud as it was. You had Machine Gun Kelly come out for Cena.
Oh God.
You had Flo Rida come out for The Rock. It was an hour long. We're waiting all night for this match. It was awesome. It was competitive. To hear the crowd for 45 minutes boo Cena, to say things that I've never heard Cena say, and to honestly give The Rock in his return match a victory over a current star. And what the cool part about this build is, the night after WrestleMania, the year before, Rock screwed Cena out of a title match. The very next night on Raw, they said, hey, next year, 1 year, we're going to fight at WrestleMania. I've never heard them set a main event for a year in advance. They spent a year propping this match up, and it lived up to its expectations. I have no other number 1.
Nice. I like it. I kind of feel bad I didn't have any Macho Man in there.
Oh, Macho Man. Well, Macho Man, he had so many matches. We talked about Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret Hart when he got the blood mask, which is currently, it was on a shirt. It's a big time moment.
Heart versus Heart.
Heart versus Heart. Oh gosh, you had Michaels versus Stone Cold when they fought with Tyson in the ring, which is iconic because at that time Tyson was massively popular.
Back when it was Shawn Michaels with the Rockers, Marty
Jannetty.
The other guys, the Demolition that used to be. Oh man.
We also had New Age Outlaws went up in a dumpster match, which was awesome against Terry Funk and Mankind in a dumpster match, and that was unbelievable.
They both had like the tacks all stuck in them.
Like, as a wrestling fan, like, I know your movies you're listed, and I probably could have had 20 matches I could have put in the top 5 because I've probably seen every WrestleMania since probably 13 every year, and I've watched the older ones quite a bit. I had 20, 25 moments I could have thought of. Hell in a Cell with Undertaker versus Triple H with Michaels as the referee after he retired. I could have had the Undertaker retiring Shawn Michaels. There was so many matches. That was my number 5 before I did TLC.
Coffin match.
The coffin match. Kane beating Undertaker at WrestleMania. A joke one from a couple of years ago. Johnny Knoxville fighting Sami Zayn, and they were using all the props from the movie, and it looked like it was going to be really bad. You had Wee Man, you had the whole crew. It was unbelievable. Moments like that. You had a 10-year-old who won a tag team championship when he went up against, he had Braun, like the 7-foot guy, beat the whole team, and the 10-year-old won a championship for the crowd. So you've had some really crazy moments. I
don't watch a lot of wrestling, and I haven't in years. But I hear about it. I keep up with stuff.
Well,
but and I'm not sure if this was before your time or not. But the best era was when WCW had their little hotness, and it was like Nitro and Monday Night Raw.
So I will give you. So do you remember the time on WCW Nitro? So you remember when Mankind won the title against The Rock? It was on Raw. It was their biggest moment. It happened, but it was taped. WCW and the whole crew spoiled the ending of that match on Nitro to tell people how that match was going to go before Raw even happened.
Oh no!
Yes, that happened, funny. And that kind of was there was already heat, but that kind of ruined it. And then you had superstars jumping over right after their contracts are done instead of waiting for their non-competes. You had Triple H and DX show up to WCW's match in the doors when they weren't even friendly, doing all that. So the wars during that time were unbelievable.
And then what happened? Vince said, "Okay, I'll just buy them."
Yep. Now you do have a little bit now with AEW and WWE. They don't like each other, but they've been cooperating. We've had superstars been able to go to Hall of Fames on each side and kind of be able to work because they understand one of the days some of these wrestlers may want to come to our side and pay, so we better be friendly. But back in the day, that rivalry was bigger than anything in sports because they legitimately hated each other and cost each other millions. When you break the biggest main event Raw's ever had 10 minutes before the finish happened, kind of really a bad thing to spoil.
I really thought your favorite match was going to be the Donald Trump.
Oh, when he should have had his head shaved? Yeah. That was a great match. Bobby Lashley versus I think it was Umaga. I can't remember who the other one was, but it was really good.
Zeus they did that with Hogan and
oh god,
Mr.
there's so many moments. But WrestleMania weekend, it honestly
Hogan slamming Andre the Giant in WrestleMania 3.
God.
That was a big, or was that 3 or 1?
It was
3, right?
3.
Yeah.
1 wasn't really anything crazy, but
yeah, 3 was the one that set everything of the world afire.
This is my favorite weekend of the year. I was thinking about going to Vegas this year to watch it because that's an awesome experience, but I'm going to wait till it comes back a little bit closer in the Southeast. But if you're not a wrestling fan, I've taken non-wrestling fans to WrestleMania, and they've had the greatest time they've ever had just because they're like, holy crap, in person, this is like, if you're into spectacles, that's what it is. It's like going to not a Daytona fan, or NASCAR fan, go to the Daytona 500. You've never experienced it. We went to a Cage Wars to go see a fight like that, like seeing something I've never seen. That's a spectacle.
Yeah.
Like I'm into it. I want to go to the Masters. That's hopefully a couple years away. I can go to that. No phones allowed, which is fantastic.
Can't afford that one.
No.
But I do want one of those tomato cheese sandwiches.
Yeah, I do too.
Now let's jump back into sports. Whoa, that was weird.
What just happened?
I ain't sure. But that's another episode of Gainesville The Glades. I'm Mike.
I'm Joe. Producer Dan Ray Finkel Gray.
Absolutely great show, guys. Killed it.
Thanks. And we'd like to thank our sponsors, Studio 44, Hooked Up Landscape and Pearl Chiropractic, and the Ocala Design Group.
Gray as well.
All of us putting in the work. This was another episode of Gainesville Glades. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next week.